Hi, I'm Uncle Mark. Welcome to the channel. Just going to clean these headlights up. You can follow along for the ride and see how I turned them into this. And it's a little bit of monkeying around. No magic potions to make this work. It takes a little bit of work, but I'm really happy with the way they turned out. So this is what they looked like. I'm not really sure what year this car is. 14, I think, and we're in 2023 in the fall. The car doesn't have very many miles in it, like 50,000 miles maybe, but the headlights have seen better days. So what I did is I think this is 3/4 inch masking tape, and I'm just gonna tape around the paint a little bit. I don't want to scratch the paint on this car. I didn't wash the car before I brought it in here, but it's in not bad shape, and of course it's black, so every little scuff will show up. So I'm gonna just do a couple runs of it right here, just again as a protection. I'm using some 3M tape here. This stuff sticks pretty good without leaving a residue, so it doesn't hurt to spend a couple extra cents and get some really good tape. Well, maybe this is double what normal tape is worth, but I think it's worth it. I'm going to use 1000 grit and 2000 grit sandpaper. This is 3M. What I like about this is you can use it wet or dry. I'm going to do it wet so that it's not really dusty. Although this doesn't make a whole lot of dust, but it's still a little cleaner. I'm just going to fold this in half because my sander that I'm using is your typical, I don't know how long it is. Your normal sander, you'll see what it looks like. It's not one of those short little ones. In fact, I've got one of the smaller ones, but it's one of these, it's almost like a Velcro. And this paper is not like that. So simple enough. Get right to it. So I'm going to give it a couple squirts of water and then start running her. I'm going to kind of go over the whole thing. It's hard to see at first, especially since it's wet. But what I ended up doing is quite a few times I dried off with a paper towel, and then I actually had a air hose, a little compressor, and I was able to make it completely dry. See what it looks like. Make sure that I've sanded in all the spots. This is going to be a 3-step process, but well worth it. The gal that owns the car was just so pleased. And it's going to be nice now because this is actually October of 2023 while I'm doing this, and we're getting fall time. It's getting darker sooner, so you're going to work in the dark, you're coming home in the dark, so it's nice to have the lights working. There's a marker lead here on this side too on this car, so I want to make it all stand out nice. This is actually on a Ford Fiesta, I believe it is, but basically this is the same on whatever kind of vehicle. You just may have, different body styles, so a little different grooves you might have to work through. Some of these headlights have little tabs that stick out a little bit for aligning. This one doesn't, so it makes it a lot easier to sand. Otherwise you'd have to sand around them. You'll know if you have some of those little tabs because they stick out like a good 1/4 inch or so. So figured let's go to the driver's side as well. I'm going to mask that. Now what I found out is, since you've got to use 2 different types of paper, well, I'm using 1000 grit first. Might as well do both headlights, right, with the 1000 grit. Then I don't have to switch it. And then I will go on to the 2000 grit and do both headlights as well. Now this makes it actually quite hazy. It almost makes it look worse than it was originally, but you just have to have a little faith that it's going to turn out well. Now, as you can see, I kind of dried it off with a towel, and I'm just drying it off a little bit with some air to see maybe some spots I've missed or some spots that need to be redone. I want to get it all. I'm trying to do a decent job on it, so I can see some spots there a little bit. It's a little deceiving what it looks like at the start. So back to it again, trying not to run over any of the paint. staying away from my masking tape as much as I can, although, you know, the odd time you're going to touch on there, so it's not going to hurt the paint. Still got this headlight looking, that was a little tougher to get into that little corner with the shape of the sander. Wiped it down again, actually it's looking better wet. So it's like, yeah, not bad. Might spend a lot of time doing it. I don't know how long I spent sanding both of them. This is going to get the most of the grime and discolored plastic off with the 1000 grit. Should clean them up pretty good. So now I'm going to switch over to the 2000 grit, a little finer again. And it's almost going to polish it, which is kind of nice. And that's when a guy starts to see the fruits of your labor as it is, or as it was. It's going to look a little clearer. But of course the final step is where it's going to be like glass. Just got my piece in there, wet it down a little bit, started running the 2000 grit on there. And there's no way you could do this without a sander. It's just too much sanding. Even with this, it took some doing, some time. I'm doing inside the garage, which is kind of helping a little bit. I'm not getting, you know, the wind drying it. The thing is, with the shape of this headlight, again, this corner here, the very right, your right, where the orange or amber signal light is, it's going to be hard to get at. Let's go back to this side. Do the same thing. This is with the 2000 grit. Notice it's a little clearer, but this is nowhere clear enough. Just going to check over it again and see if it looks even or not. There's some spots here that you can see maybe need to be cleaned up a little more. Here as well. It's hard to show up on the camera, but decided I'm going to redo it again, get a little bit wet again. Lots of doing it, going over it again. It's looking a lot better. Of course, the polish is going to make this very clear. The polish, of course, is going to be very, very fine. So another step here again, just making sure. It looks a lot different once it's dry. When it's wet, it doesn't look as even. Now, this is what I'm using, Mother's mag and aluminum polish. You can use what you want. This stuff isn't very expensive. Not using a whole lot of it. I did another video where I just used this on a couple lights, and they turned out not bad, but a lot of work and not as nice as this. I'm finding these lights that are clear seem to turn out a lot better than some of the old lights that had all the little diffusers or whatever they're called. So, yeah, it's coming along. You can start seeing it taking shape. Might have to go over it a few more times, especially in a couple spots. I noticed, oh, there's a little spot here, a little spot there. Should I be wearing rubber gloves? Maybe. I tried looking to see if there was any cancer warnings on the can here. I didn't see any. But, you know, be safe. I don't know. That looked pretty good, I'll tell you. Do this side as well. I just got a little buff wheel. Actually, it's a hand buffing pad that's round. I made a hole in the middle of it, and I put it onto this rotary wheel. It was pretty cheap, and I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars maybe done with this little pad. I just turned it onto the other side there. I don't know what I paid for it, $5 maybe. So it's looking pretty good. Again, more impressive, not on camera or in real life, I'm going to gently pull the tape off. You have to be careful too if your bumper's ever being painted, and this paint that goes in between the bumper and the light there, you don't want to be pulling that off, so be very gentle. Does it look better? I think it does. I'm going to slam the hood down, and that's it. So I'm going to show you the difference before and after. So this was before, and then we'll transform it into after. Look at that, getting clearer, 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 clearer. Not bad, huh? Looks like new, especially outside. Some other cars I've done too. I'll show you a few different ones. This was a 2011 Equinox. Did just after. They were pretty bad as well. And they came out pretty nice. I don't know how long I spent on them. Half an hour. This is our Ford Flex. I've got a bunch of videos on that. Headlights turned out pretty good. Love it. So not the easiest thing, I know. You're probably complaining. It's like, that's a lot of work. It was. But all those headlights turned out really well. And I don't know, let's say it took me an hour total. They look like brand new. So I'm pretty happy with it. Didn't really use a whole lot of product. Once you have it, it's almost better. Like I've got friends and stuff like that. So I've been kind of doing like little favors for them. You know, what do you get them sometimes for a gift or something? So it's like, well, I'll polish your headlights. And they're like, ooh. So that's something a little different. Anyway, please give me the thumbs up if you like the video, and you know, it helps YouTube see that I'm working my butt off here to try and get good content for you. You can also subscribe down in the corner, playlists on a whole bunch of different types of vehicles, and always adding to them as well. And each one of those vehicles, I don't know how many videos are on them. I keep adding to them. I think we're up to over 500 videos on this channel right now. Of course, the first 100, you know what I mean? But it's taken some time. What are we driving here? Usually I do a playlist. I'm trying to think what playlist, because we didn't really feature the car too much, but I think we will, because I'm going to be doing more videos on this car later. So right here, the blue circle just where the yellow flashing arrow is, it points to a card that'll bring you to, this is a Ford Fiesta, I believe. I have to double check what year it is. We'll have some stuff there to go on that car as well. Plus, I've got a whole bunch of other playlists on different types of cars. Maybe the one that you're driving. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you and your family are staying well. I'm Uncle Mark saying bye-bye from, well, they call us friendly Manitoba here in Canada. Please subscribe, and you'll get all the notifications. It's easy. The little dog will show you how. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. You know what? I think I'm just going to put it under the Escort, or Festiva, I guess is what the car is. You can take a look at it there. And otherwise, go to the channel and lots of playlists on different types of vehicles. Until next time, I'm saying you and your family stay safe. Bye-bye from Uncle Mark in, well, I guess it's sunny Manitoba.